At a Senate hearing on October 21st, Congress gathered to address the ongoing housing crisis. One potential solution under discussion, modular home construction. Watch as Senators Smith and McCormick question Mary Tingerthal, founder of Construction Revolution, and a leading expert on innovative building solutions.
Ms. Tingerthal, you can see that there's a lot of interest in the opportunities around modular home construction and what that means. And so let me just ask you a couple of questions. I think there still exists a little bit of a stigma or bias that somehow modular construction is just not as good. It's not as aesthetically pleasing. Could you just address that and tell us a little bit about what you've seen to get at that kind of quality design part of the question?
Thank you, Senator Smith. One thing I would say is that we've now been building manufactured housing according to the HUD code that has been revised a couple of times to take care of issues that initially existed. But now it is some of the sturdiest and most affordable housing that we have in our housing stock. Similarly, with modular, one thing most people don't know is that every modular building must be built to the same housing code as any other building.
Right.
So it is exactly the same level of safety and durability and energy efficiency as any other structure.
And my experience from visiting the units that have been built in Minneapolis and visiting Rise Modular is also that the aesthetic value of the home, it looks good. It looks like a place that anybody would want to live, and I think that that's just really important for people to get in their brains as they think about the opportunity here. You were talking in your testimony about how the I think you said we've gone from like 2% of construction to 7% of construction. Those numbers. What is it going to take to truly get to scale? What are like two things that we really needs to change to get it so that it is a much larger even percentage of the construction market?
Thank you, Senator. The convincers, the people that need to be convinced, I believe, are the housing developers and the general contractors of this country. And I've said in my testimony that I think one of the allies that we need to bring to the table is the National Association of Home Builders, and how we work with them to help their members understand better what modular construction takes, and that it is not taking away jobs. It is simply organizing work differently.
Right.
And in a time when we are losing skilled tradespeople, being able to leverage those skilled tradespeople by more strongly designed and standardized processes, I think is one of the most important things we need to accomplish.
And in a field where there's a real shortage of construction trades, I mean, I know our experience in Minnesota has been that it was relatively easier to recruit and train construction folks in this factory environment, which is it's a great place to work. Just basically put.
Well, we all, I think, are very excited about the possibilities of the Road to Housing Act and its focus on reducing barriers to increase the supply of housing. In your testimony, you outlined the regulatory barriers to modular construction. Could you underscore a few ways that government regulation alone can pass along the cost to the consumers, and how the Road to Housing Act looks to mitigate some of those regulatory barriers?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. I think one of the best examples of why regulatory reform is so important for modular construction is the absolute success that we have of the so-called HUD code that was adopted in 1976 that has allowed us for all these years to build manufactured housing to a single national code. That alone is one of the things that allows manufactured housing to stay so affordable compared to stick-built housing. Modular construction, which has many similarities to manufactured housing, but does not use a chassis, doesn't enjoy that same national code. And so one of the provisions in the Road to Housing Act would require the HUD secretary to complete a study that would determine whether a uniform commercial code for modular construction for multifamily particularly could be implemented. One thing that's not well known is that over the last several years, starting back in 2019, there has been a team working between HUD and the National Institute for Building Sciences, NIBS, and a professional group of national and international experts on offsite construction called ModX have been working, developing recommendations developed by the industry for what it would take to develop such a commercial code. So this provision has a lot of groundwork that's already been done, and the stimulus to actually make it happen would really be significant.
For more congressional news, stay tuned to Congress Clips, and thanks for watching.